All right. We are going to start off with talking about for the Raw results. I'm going to start things off with. All right, so we start off. Look, I'm going to point out Smojo is back, and he was on commentary this week. Great to see Smojo back. Since he was so good commentary last time, you all wanted him on commentary again. And God damn it, you got it. Then we started things off with the VIP lounge with Aleister Black, Al Cruz, and Mysterio. And I'm going to tell you guys for the first, I believe, half of this promo before Zelina Vega came out. Because I was very tired because I was busy doing work and a bunch of shit. So yeah. So that segment leads into a 6-man tag match where Aleister Black, Apollo Crews, and Rey Mysterio defeated Andrade, Angel Garza, and Austin Theory, with Apollo Crews pinning Andrade. I gave it 3 stars. But I'm now going to bring it down to 2.75 because thinking about the match, I didn't really care for it. And then we had 25 years of Triple H, through the top 10 moments of his career throughout the night. And then we had an interview with Andrade and Zelina Vega. And then we also had the another slap around the world. The real slap heard around the world was the one that you see on the it's the David Schultz one. We'll get into that in a bit. That led to a U.S. title match later on tonight. We'll get into that. Then we had Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins video packages throughout the night. Then we had an Asuka promo, which I don't know about you guys, but I don't really like when Asuka cuts promos nowadays because half the time she cuts a promo, I can't stand it. So, yeah. Asuka had a promo, so hopefully cussing out Nia Jax. Hopefully. Basically, it chalked up to I'm going to shoot on Nia Jax, which I hope she does at Money in the Bank. I hope she actually gets into a real fight with Nia Jax and actually knocks her teeth in for almost killing Kyrie. The triple threat between Asuka, Nia, and Shayna never happened because Nia decided to be a bitch. Then we had Bobby Lashley versus Denzel Dejournette, 0 stars. Lastly, it was a squash match. Then Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, 2 stars. Liv picks up the win. Then we got a Liv Morgan interview after the match. Then we got a Nia Jax interview when she was walking backstage and said that no one can do anything about it. And Shayna can't do anything about her actions, which my first reaction to her saying that was, yes, she can. She can break every single bone in your fucking body. She did MMA, you fucking idiot. I just wanted to see Nia get her ass kicked because you cannot, with her ego and thinking what she's doing the right thing to do, just because she's a heel, she's doing the right thing by getting people to hate her. You're getting people to hate you for the wrong reason. You're getting people to hate you because you're dangerous in the ring. Like, you've hurt Bailey, you've hurt many, you've hurt Sasha. I'm pretty sure. I'm sure as hell you hurt fucking Kyrie. Then we have Viking Raiders promo, and then Jinder Mahal's back, guys. Y'all wanted him back. Here he is, and he kills Akira Tozawa in a matchup giving 0.25 stars. Then we had more romance from Angel Garza and Charlie Caruso. And then we got to the U.S. title match, which Andrade beat Apollo in a match he gave 3.25 stars. It was a good match up until the ending. Now, I'm going to say this. This is the first of two matches this week that had shit endings. First of two. The second one we'll get into later today, and it still somehow got match of the week. This one got 3.25 stars. It was a great match, ruined by a terribly booked ending. That ending being Apollo Crews' injury, and the referee stopped the match. Now, I get it. You have to stop the match whenever someone's injured, but Apollo did not look like he was hurt. He actually wanted to continue the match. As the mark of an athlete, you have to finish the match. The ref just threw the match out, and I'm pretty sure Apollo was screaming, "No, keep the match going." And then the ref was like, "Nope." Meaning the referee is being unprofessional. Of course, he's doing his job, but still, at least have Andrade win. If you're going to have Andrade win, ref, just have him win the normal way. Next up, we had a segment we have the Street Profits promo that saying they're free next week to defend their tag titles against the Viking Raiders. Meaning that match is happening next week. Oh boy. Up next, Cedric Alexander Ricochet defeated Everrise in a match giving 1 star. Then MVP appeared on the Titantron to introduce James Thorne and Brendan Vink to Raw. Meaning that they're officially part of the Raw roster. I guess. Then Apollo Crews, we cut to the trans room where Apollo Crews is on crutches, meaning it's confirmed that he is out of Money in the Bank. We'll get into that later. Meaning there will be a second chance gauntlet for the Raw stars. Now, next up, we got Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins in a contract signing. Where Drew says Rollins is full of shit. Drew headbutted Seth, and then Murphy attacked Drew, and then Drew claimed Murphy. Then we get to Impact Wrestling's Rebellion Night 2. All right. Here we go. So we got Chris Bay defeating Suicide, Rahit Raju, and Trey in a match giving 2.25 stars. It was a good 4-way. Then we had Tessa Blanchard FaceTime promo. Then Joseph P. Ryan, a.k.a. Joey Ryan, defeated Cousin Jake in a match giving 2 stars. Then we had a Rosemary Bar promo. Then we had Nebayo watching closely at the Full Metal Mayhem match between Rosemary and Havoc. I'm giving that match 2.5 stars. Rosemary picking up the win via lead pipe. Willie Mack and Rich Swann had an interview where Johnny Swinger interrupted. Then Michael Elgin, we got an interview of him early on in the day, where Michael Elgin had a video package, and then he went out to cut a promo and tell the referee that he won by forfeit. That didn't happen, as Moose came out wearing the TNA heavyweight title. Then Hernandez came out, and then it was a triple threat match for the TNA world title, not the Impact world title, the TNA world title, which Moose won. Moose is apparently TNA world champion. I'm giving it 2.75 stars. Then we had AEW Dark. Jimmy Havoc defeated Shawn Dean, 1 star. Best Friends defeated Lee Johnson and Musa, 0.75. Then we had NXT results, where Isaiah Swerve Scott defeated El Hijo del Fantasma in the Group B, in a match going 2.5 stars. I expected El Hijo del Fantasma to win that, but I guess Isaiah Scott won it. Then Dominic Dijakovic, we had a video of him early on in the day. My cable box was screwing up because of rain, so I didn't get far into the segment before I had to fast forward through it. Then we had a paranoid El Hijo del Fantasma after we came back from commercial break because he was looking over his shoulder, wondering if he's going to get kidnapped. Then we had Candice LeRae defeating Casey Catanzaro. I'm giving it 2 stars because my TV. I don't know if it was more than that because my TV kept cutting out. Then we had Candice continuing the assault on Casey Catanzaro after the match. Then we had Damian Priest promo, Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher promo, aka the Newly Bro Show, which I was very confused. Then we got the Imperium attacking. Then Adam Cole cut a promo saying that next week that it'll be Velveteen Dream and Adam Cole NXT title. Then we had Charlotte Flair defeating Mia Yim in a match and giving 3 stars. Io Shirai then confronted Charlotte Flair, meaning that the NXT Women's title match between those two will happen next week. Karrion Kross and Scarlett Bordeaux had a video package where next week it's confirmed that Karrion Kross, aka Killer Kross, will be debuting next week. Dexter Lumis defeated Shane Thorne in a match giving 1.75 stars. Dexter Lumis still has his character on point. Drake Maverick and Jake Atlas had a video segment early on in the day. Then Keith Lee cut a promo. Then Drake Maverick defeated Tony Nese in a Group A bout. And I was hyped for that. And then I'm giving it 2.75 stars, though. I screamed with joy when Maverick got the win because I thought he should have won anyway. I thought he should win the whole tournament. Then we got the North American title match with Keith Lee defeating Damian Priest in a 3.5-star match. And then we got to AEW Dynamite with Jericho and Schiavone on commentary. Then Cody defeat. Then here's the second match that ended via bullshit. That was a great match with terrible ending. It's Cody versus Darby Allin, the TNT semifinals. Cody won in a 3.75-star match. However, the match ended via shenanigans. It did not go well. Here's how the match ended. So, Cody goes for the coffin drop. He misses it. Darby gets the knees up during Cody's coffin drop. Darby goes to the top, hits the coffin drop on Cody, pins him. However, Cody's already rolled onto his shoulder. Only one shoulder of Cody's was down, while Darby pinning Cody had both his shoulders down, meaning Cody won. It was a bullshit ending. I knew Cody was winning, though. I called it weeks ago. Scorpio Sky. We had a Scorpio Sky video package. We had MJF injury update. Wardlow defeated Musa, 0.5 stars. We had the Bubbly Bunch with the Manitoba Melee. Now on TikTok there was one, but I fucked up and didn't do it. I should have done it. Here's what I was going to do. So what I was going to do was, once I got hit, I would have ran at my camera and just hit a V trigger. I was going to... Basically, here's what I was going to do for the Manitoba Melee that I didn't compete in, all right? Here's how I would have done it. So, I go back, and then just... That's what I was going to do. I would have even knocked my camera over doing it, too. So, yeah. Up next, we had the No DQ match between Best Friends defeating Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sabian. Great match. 3.75 stars. Ended great, too. A pile driver on the chair. And then we got Dr. Britt Baker DMD video promo where she basically roasted the shit out of Tony Schiavone, a.k.a. Shivani. Then Shawn Spears defeated Baron Black in a match giving 0.5 stars. Then we had Technique by Taz with Lance Archer's death. I'm going to kill you, motherfucker. That's basically what he does. Then Brody Lee murders Marco Stunt. 1 star. It was basically a murder. I don't want to see anyone get murdered. Then Jon Moxley had a promo package. Then we get to Lance Archer and Dustin Rhodes in a match I also called. Dustin bled throughout. And Lance Archer murdered him with the referee stoppage. No, wait, no. I think it was just pinfall. Dustin just died that match. I got all the semifinals right. I got all the quarterfinals right. And I'm about to predict the Lance Archer's winning the tournament. If Cody wins, it's bullshit. I never usually get a whole tournament right. There's always a match I get a bunch of matches I get wrong. This is one of the tournaments that's more predictable to get right. Knowing that to all the way to the finals at least, because it's known that you're building up Lance Archer and Cody to go at it. Then on SmackDown we had Daniel Bryan promo, which I fell asleep throughout most of that promo. I fell asleep throughout the whole promo. I fell asleep throughout when he started talking, and then woke up to a match between Daniel Bryan and Baron Corbin, which ended via DQ, 2 stars. Then we had a 3-1 attack on Daniel Bryan between Cesaro and Shinsuke and Corbin. Then Braun Strowman had cut a promo and was interrupted by Bray. Sheamus defeated Leon Ruff. Remember him who stole the black mask like he got murdered? Yeah, 0.25 stars. Sheamus wins. Then we had Jeff Hardy, Chapter 4, the comeback, and it's confirmed that Jeff Hardy will show up next week. Then we had Mandy Rose and Otis interview where we had a Money in the Bank qualifying match, Carmella and Mandy Rose. I'm giving it 0.5 stars. It was a bad match. Carmella won because Sonya Deville distracted Mandy, but it was still a bad match. And Sonya still attacked Mandy after the match, too. Now, the Forgotten Sons defeated the New Day, 2.75 stars. It was a good tag match. Right people won. Tamina had an interview where she was attacked by Bayley and Sasha. Then Lacey Evans came to save the day. And then in our main event, the final segment of the show was Otis and Dolph Ziggler in a Money in the Bank qualifying match where Otis picked up the win over Ziggler in SmackDown's main event, 2.25 stars. Otis beat Ziggler in the main event of SmackDown, guys. This time without the help of Mandy. All right, so that was the weekly reviews. On to the weekly awards. Pop of the week goes to Samoa Joe's appearance on Raw. Heat of the week goes to Nia Jax. Hernandez. The yeet of the week goes to Hernandez yeeting Moose. Imagine yeeting someone that big. Goddamn. Candice LeRae is Savage of the week. Leon Ruff is Jobber of the week. Bray Wyatt, Promo of the week. I'm giving it to Cody and Darby, Match of the week, despite the ending. Drake Maverick is Wrestler of the week because Kenny Omega didn't wrestle. Bump of the week goes to Jimmy Havoc getting pile drived on a bunch of fucking chairs. And Leon Ruff gets Sell of the week. Now, I'm going to just go right into the Dark Side of the Ring so that we can just get that over with. So this week's Dark Side of the Ring was the David Schultz and the slap I heard around the world. You know, where he slapped a reporter? Yeah, so basically I had interviews with David Schultz himself, Jim Cornette, John Stossel, the guy he slapped, Eddie Mansfield, the voice of Hulk Hogan. There wasn't really that much top talent, like heard of talent in this documentary like there was in the same as the last week's documentary with Dino Bravo. There wasn't really a lot of wrestlers in it. The only wrestler you could see in it, like actual wrestler that people knew, was the Mountie. That was the only one in it last week. This week we only had like David Schultz, Jim Cornette. Those are main people we knew. It tells David Schultz training for wrestling, the beginnings, his feud with Hulk Hogan, signing with the WWE. The is wrestling. Then we get to David Stossel's side, where we get to the question: is wrestling fake? The Eddie Mansfield interview, and then the slap heard around the world happens. David gets legal troubles, goes to Japan. Stossel files a lawsuit. Mr. T gets hired, brought in. Then David Schultz is fired and arrested, and then the Hulk Hogan side of the story. Then we got Hogan choking out a reporter. Then life after WWE for David Schultz, aka the greatest bounty hunter. Then we got the aftermath. Next week is going to be Herb Abrams UWF. Go to the Vice channel, watch it. The Dark Side of the Ring is so good, I might have to stop talking about it because I'm running out of shit to say about it. I can't go into good detail like the show does. So we're going to start things up with the news with WWE being in a class action lawsuit. Now, WWE is in a class action lawsuit because they fired so many fucking people. We're going to get into 3 more firings in a bit. Well, 2 releases, 1 furlough in a bit, where the owner of the boss of the XFL is now suing Vince McMahon for wrongful firing. Now, with the wrongful firing comes a lot of shit. Like, I understand that Vince had to do it because of budget cuts, like he did with the last 3 budget cuts this week, and now he's involved in a class action lawsuit because of it. Very, very well known that everyone wasn't involved. Like, Vince wasn't. Vince didn't want to fire all these guys. He didn't want to shut down the XFL, but he had to because of budget cuts and the fact that WWE was losing money because of all the talent they had. They were losing money, so they had to release all the talent that they had that they weren't using or didn't have anything for. That's why Zack Ryder was gone. That's why Hawkins is gone. It's why Rusev's gone. He asked for his release in the first place, so don't blame WWE for firing Rusev. Basically, it's the government's fault for the stay-at-home order. It's the world's fault, which is why I'm making a petition to cancel 2020 and just to forget about the year in general once 2021 happens. We're going to be referring to 2019 as the year before 2021 because 2020 has been such a joke of the year. It wasn't even a year at all. It shouldn't even be a year at all. People are going to somehow want to remember this year as something like, oh, this needs to be remembered so that everyone can know what we went through in this year. First off, I don't think anyone should need to remember about this. No one should want to go back. I don't want to go back to 9/11 every damn year, but I have to because that's the day that the World Trade Centers were destroyed, and I was only a month old when it happened. I'm 18 at the moment. I was born August 4th, 2001. Now, I was only a month old getting my diaper changed when 9/11 took place. When the terrorist attacks took place. I don't want to remember that day, but I'm forced to remember that day because schools will constantly remind you of the day. And when you're in New York, if you live in New York, schools are shut down on that day. But when you live in other states, they'll continue schools. I learned that this year, like last year when I moved to Georgia and I had school on that day that I did not want to go to school because that's a day I'm used to not going to school for. All right. But WWE was involved in I am off topic so much. So the class action lawsuit of the wrongful firings. All right. Then we get to the furloughs and releases. Starting off with a furlough, Gerald Briscoe has been furloughed by WWE, not officially released. He's been furloughed, meaning WWE's probably going to bring him back once the whole stay-at-home order is done. WWE will bring him back to the fold, and hopefully WWE will, once the whole stay-at-home order is done. Now we get to the releases. Curtis Axel has been released by WWE. Now, Curtis Axel was just wasted when he, like the Genesis of McGillicuddy, Curtis Axel was wasted before his release. He was wasted. He was dead upon arrival. You just knew that it wasn't going to end up well for him. And it just goes to show you, if you're the son of a famous pro wrestler, you are not safe. Like, you are not safe from being fired from major companies such as WWE. Harry Smith wrestled in WWE as David Hart Smith Jr. and was still fired. Who else is an example of this? Sim Snuka, son of Jimmy Snuka, was fired because he didn't have the talent. Some of the Anawahi family doesn't make it to the Hall of Fame. Chavo Guerrero was released by WWE not like a decade ago. Just because you are the son and or daughter of famous wrestlers does not mean you're going to do well. Once you're at second generation wrestler status, it's going to be hard to pick up that torch of what your family left before you joined. Like what your family did before you joined, now you have to try and top that. And it's very difficult to top what your family did before you, especially when it came to Curtis Axel, since his father was Mr. Perfect, aka Kurt Hennig. And you just knew if your father was more famous than you and you're the son, you are going to be buried. It's just a given at this point. If your father was that famous. If you're the daughter, however, then maybe you get a good push. Charlotte seems to be doing well for herself. But I guarantee you, if she did not have Flair as her last name, she wouldn't be where she is at the moment. Then we get to the second of releases, the big release from WWE. Cain Velasquez is now gone from the company, which he was only used for one match. He shouldn't have been in the company to begin with. Yes, he started wrestling in Mexico, but he shouldn't have been in the company to begin with. He was just there so Brock can feel good about himself. Yes. I highly agree with that. He was only brought into WWE so Brock could avenge his loss from years ago. But it doesn't make either of them look good. As a matter of fact, it makes Brock look weaker. And see, the only way he could beat Cain Velasquez was in a fake fight. And even in a fake fight, Cain Velasquez still lost to Brock. When Cain Velasquez could easily beat Brock in a real fight. It was proven. Now, I'm running out of things to say about Cain Velasquez, guys. What can I say besides he shouldn't have been in WWE to begin with? He shouldn't have signed. Then we get Apollo Crews is out of Money in the Bank. Now, this is sad. Like, Apollo Crews was finally getting the push he needed. It looked like he was getting the push he needed, only for that to be taken away with an injury. A knee injury, too. Sucks, because he was finally starting to climb up the ladder that he should have climbed up back in 2016. But it just wasn't meant to be. Then we get Joe Exotic you know him, Lion King or Tiger King, I think. Yes, Tiger King. Joe Exotic says RH wrestlers were spies for Carol Baskins. Now, in the article I read for this, now this just made me laugh. Like, RH Ring of Honor wrestlers were spies. Now, some of the guys he mentions, I think he mentioned like Dalton Castle, Matt Taven, and Jay Lethal. 3 top names in Ring of Honor he mentions were spies for Carol Baskins. Like, what the fuck, man? Don't try and take their careers down. A lot of people's careers have been taken down this year alone. Like Jeffrey Hume or Hum, or however you pronounce it, had his wrestling career taken away because of a racist TikTok video. Velveteen Dreams might be taken away if these allegations that he's in appear to be true, which I don't think they're true. But yeah, there's no way these RH wrestlers were spies for Carol Baskins. I guarantee you that neither of them, all 3 of them, never heard about Carol Baskins. All 3 of them probably never heard about her. And then we get to WWE 2K Battlegrounds. So if you guys didn't know, this week it was confirmed that last week it was confirmed that WWE 2K21 was officially canceled by 2K Games. They weren't going to do it, but they wanted to get WWE game out this year, so they settled with 2K Battleground, a arcade style beat 'em up. They settled with an arcade style beat 'em up, and they got Battleground. Basically, what looks, in my opinion, a poor man's All Stars. Like, I think it looks dreadful. I think it looks awful. I don't like it. Like, it's god awful, this new game. Like, the characters look eh. The gameplay looks eh. The game looks eh. It's just looks bad. It looks garbage. This is 2K's attempt to still get WWE game out every single year. Notice how they didn't give people early access to the 2K21. Notice how 2K20. They didn't give anyone early access to that because they knew their game was trash. So they didn't even try to hide it. And when you release a game and you don't give early access when people are expecting it, then the game is garbage. Just agree with me there. If this game comes out and there's no early access where you can play the game before it's released, then that game will also be, new game, Battlegrounds will also be trash. Like, it's too cartoony. Now, WWE All-Stars was cartoony, but at least it was fun. 2K Battleground doesn't look fun at all. I mean, I've seen leaks of the roster, and the roster looks pretty good. I'll give it to them there. The small roster, it looks pretty good, but the face scans could have used some more work. With WWE All-Stars, they didn't have to. I think they rarely scan faces. I'm not sure if they scan faces for All-Stars. Did they scan faces for All-Stars? I'm not sure. But for this new game, I'm not sure what I feel about it. I'm not sure how I feel about it. That is the Wrestle Stream podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed. It's another short podcast because there's not really that much to talk about. See you guys next week for number 10. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Best of Super Juniors Night 4. Yeah, see you guys.